Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, for this Nintendo News Daily. Before we get going here, keep in mind these streams are powered by Elgato, n64josh.com/Elgato. Use N64Josh at checkout. Save a little bit of cash if you're looking to pick up. I've had a lot of people asking me lately about how do you get game footage? The capture card. They got a couple different options. You can go with the Neo series if you're just wanting to kind of dip your toes in the water, or if you want to go all the way, just go with like the 4K S. That is a great choice. That's the footage you're seeing right now was captured with the Elgato 4K S. So great products. And again, n64josh.com/Elgato. Today's show, we're going to be looking at a number of headlines, and then we're going to be talking about our Nintendo Game of the Year, right? So we're going to be putting the Nintendo games that we've played this year will be the nominees for today's episode to see which game takes the cake for everybody. And of course, if you're listening after the fact, make sure to leave a comment on Spotify or on YouTube because I'd love to hear what your game of the year is as well. So let's jump into this. This first story was broke by Nady Nay, who's in chat right now, as well as Cryptic. What's going on? Welcome, guys. Limited Run Games is bringing NES Jaws to Switch in massively expanded form. This is from Nintendo Life here. It says Limited Run Games has announced a very exciting enhanced version of the 1987 NES classic Jaws. They've got their signature offering of flashy physical editions ready to devour and everything. These new physical editions of the game come complete with the 8-bit original, now with modern conveniences such as quick save. But of course, the star turn is a massively updated or a massively expanded Jaws Enhanced Edition that embiggens the adventure to incorporate aspects from 4 of the Jaws movies rather than just the good one. Ooh, shots fired. Uh, this thing, so they're having fun with this, and I'm here for it. There is a bigger boat edition, all right, you guys? A bigger boat edition, and it's got a keychain. It looks like it has a CD soundtrack. The box looks like the box for the NES game back in the day, and there's also like it looks like a 8-bit statue of the, of Jaws. So, this is like I'm here for it. I'm here for it, you know? Nate says, "I can buy that game for, like, $8." Goodness. Right. Yeah. Yeah, no joke there. So, uh, the Jaws Retro Edition features Save Anywhere, Rewind, achievements and trophies, a music player, and gallery. Jaws Enhanced versions, massively expanded, multi-chapter adventure filled with nods and homages to all 4 Jaws films. New quests and objectives, new abilities, and weapons for your boat and diver alike. More challenging enemies and more ways to deal with them. Oh, okay. All right. Shots fired. Brandon's here. What's going on? Nadine Nay says, "Yeah, Josh, it will go so great with your dang virtual boy." Here we go. Here we go. Cryptic said, "This game is bad, but it is a classic." I love it. I love it. Oh, let's see. Little bit of little tidbit here from Brandon. It says, "I saw Bethesda put out a little statement acknowledging performance issues on Switch 2. Hopefully a fix soon and just maybe 60 FPS." Yeah, Skyrim needs a little bit of love apparently. Like what? I guess, get it out before the holidays, but it is Skyrim. Like we're playing it on refrigerators, are we not? Like it can literally be played anywhere. Just really strange it wasn't a little bit better optimized before it hit store shelves. But, here we are. Here we are. Nate says that we still can't get DuckTales on Disney or Disney cartoon games on Switch. Yeah. The Disney collection is like it's sitting right there. It's sitting right there, you know? So, I would, I would definitely play some DuckTales, like, put it on NSO at the very least. Like, I love that game. Love that game so, so much. So, well, Digital Foundry delivers its tech verdict on Red Dead Redemption for Switch 2. Says, are the upgrades worth it? The article from Nintendo Life says Red Dead Redemption is out now for Switch 2, delivering an updated version of the acclaimed Wild West romp. We've already provided our own glowing 9 out of 10 review, but now the lovely chaps at Digital Foundry have gone even more in depth, as you can expect from a graphical and performance point of view. Starting off with performance, Red Dead Redemption runs mostly stable 60 FPS with minor dips present in Armadillo and Blackwater, particularly when playing the Undead Nightmare add-on. For the most part, however, you can expect a lovely, smooth gameplay with very infrequent interruptions. Looking closely at the visuals, the game's textures and world design remain pretty much the same as those found on Switch 1. However, while docked, the Switch 2 version utilizes DLSS to achieve a much more detailed 1440p resolution from the native 720p. There's much less flickering going on with the foliage, while objects off in the far distance have reduced aliasing. Meanwhile, 2D assets such as the in game map are much more detailed thanks to higher resolution, while shadows appear slightly more realistic than the original Switch. There are still a few lingering issues, mind you, some textures still flickering and pop in slightly, which Digital Foundry notes as disappointing given the age of the original game, while shadow quality in handheld mode is noticeably worse when compared to docked. So I I I know Nady Nay's been playing, picked this one up for, like, 20 bucks on Amazon, and then I believe the upgrade is free, so you can experience this, for, pretty a pretty reasonable price, I would say, and it seems like, they use the term, like, disappointing. I don't know, like, it's, it's an old game, and seeing that it's a relatively stable 60 FPS, like, talking about a few flickers and pop-ins being disappointing. I don't know, maybe I just have to have higher standards. I don't know. You guys in chat can tell me. But from what I've seen from, like, videos that Nate has shared in Discord and whatnot, it looks pretty solid. Like, it looks pretty solid, and it makes me wish that more games would get these updates for Switch 2. So, fingers crossed we see more games getting that same kind of love, and I'm even just talking Nintendo first party. Looking at you, Xenoblade. I know some of you guys are as well. So, Cryptic's asking if DuckTales Remastered is on Switch. I don't think it is. I think it is stuck on the Wii U. So, Nate says, "Yep, it runs great. People are just nitpicky. Rockstar are geniuses." So there you go. Love that. Love that. I mean, for the most part, it seems like a pretty positive um review with just a bit of, you know, a few little complaints. Street Fighter 6 gets an update. It adds a UI from Third Strike, Alpha 3, and more. So Street Fighter 6 is already one of the greatest fighting games of all time, so Capcom really didn't need to do much more to sell it to us. Alas, an upcoming update on the 16th of December genuinely sounds like one of the coolest yet, with the game adding a bunch of UI options from previous titles. So if you're a fan of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, you can make the game UI closely resemble that of the 1999 entry. Alternatively, you can go back even further and add UI from Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo from '94. Yep, that would be the one I'm going for. No question there. Most of the new additions will cost, mind you, with only the Sim design being offered for free for all players. We're not sure exactly how much each option will cost, but it is likely that both drive tickets and fighter coins can be applied, the latter of which you can purchase with real money. So it looking like Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which I played it so much on the Super Nintendo. So much Street Fighter. Like, I had Champion, my buddy had Turbo. I loved being able to play that game, like, and fight so much faster. That was I really, really enjoyed that. Uh, you've got Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Ultra Street Fighter 4, and Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition. And what's happening here is it's giving you, like I said, it's the UI that is changing. So, like, your health bar will look like it is from one of those games. So it's just kind of a bit of a throwback, if you will, in Street Fighter 6. So, what are the price of these? Can you earn them in game? Are they gonna be worth it? That's, uh, TBD. TBD. So, we'll see. We'll see if it's something I pull the trigger on. So this is from Nintendo Life. It says, in case you missed it, here's what else might be on its way to Switch's online N64 library. Now, the picture here is Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong 64 to be exact. So the article reads, earlier this year, a Switch Online and expansion pack trailer supposedly teased some upcoming releases for the N64 library. One of these games was Forsaken 64, which was released in September, and another title spotted was Rayman 2 The Great Escape. And now that's returning next week. So, what else might be on the way? In case you missed it or you need another reminder, three other titles seemingly identified in this video footage included include Rare's Donkey Kong 64, the Nintendo beat 'em up, Super Smash Brothers, and the original Glover release, which also got an eShop version earlier this year. And so these were back in July. I remember a number of outlets were covering this. I remember like Andre from Game Explain, I think was doing some work trying to figure out what games were available. And so Forsaken was shown. And basically what happened is like they have a background image of a bunch of these games, and then if you I take those games and then line them up together and then apply a blur to them in Photoshop, it looks identical to what Nintendo posted. Well, if you turn that blur off, you can see that Forsaken, Donkey Kong 64, Smash Bros, and Glover are all Rayman 2 are all part of these this photo. And so now we've seen, it looks like 3? Am I, or maybe it's just 2. Yeah, it's just 2 so far. Forsaken and then Rayman 2. So there there's the potential of 3 more: Donkey Kong 64, Smash Bros, and Glover. So hopefully this is real, and we get to see. I would love, like, Donkey Kong 64, I would put a little bit of time into. That's one I played all the way through. I don't hate that game. It was just due to life circumstances at the time. It was like that was the game I was able to play, and so played all the way through it and didn't hate it. I remember at times it being a bit of a slog trying to collect everything, but to get Smash finally would be so great. So Cryptic says the issue isn't that we don't believe that they're coming, it's the fact that it's taking so long to be released, especially when the Nintendo Today app is praising DK64 yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. With the it was I got my script and everything for my Today in Nintendo history. I didn't get it I wasn't able to get it uploaded yet, but yesterday was the anniversary of Donkey Kong 64 releasing in Japan. And so there doesn't seem to be, like, rhyme or reason, they don't, it's not like they're seeing when certain dates are happening and then they're releasing stuff. It just seems very random. Maybe these things take time, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I assume they take some time, but it just seems like they maybe take a lot more time than we would assume. I'm not sure what the holdup is here, and um, why they're waiting so long to get d more of their first party games available to, subscribers. Where, like, Rayman 2 and, Sonic Trouble, like, they, let's see, Rayman 2 and Ubisoft's other N64 outing, Tonic Trouble. So, something, deals being made with other publishers, which is, and other developers, which is great. I mean, I love seeing that that we get more, but why aren't the first party, like, why don't we have all the first party stuff just done at this point? That's what feels off. Nate says, "I tell you what the holdup is, only putting the ones people want around major resub times." Yeah, but it didn't even seem like, October was the big resub, uh the big resub time, and I'm like, it didn't seem like there was anything of note other than I maybe that was well, no, that was November that we got, like, Battletoads. So, like, when my resub comes up is when they first launched the system. I don't remember I remember kinda paying attention, and I do not remember anything major coming out, and then a month later, we got Battletoads and, like, Kid Icarus and those games that were on the NES and Game Boy. So, just it's very strange. It's very, very strange. Cryptic says Wario World wasn't even teased in the direct, and that came out randomly before Sunshine and other games that were teased. Yeah, yeah, and, that is that segues perfectly into the fact that Nintendo expands Switch 2 GameCube library with Wario's 3D outing. This is not a game I ever played. I put a video out after the show last night talking about this. It honestly looks really fun. This is one of those maybe you guys have a similar like a similar circumstance. Wario World is one of those games that I would constantly see in retail, maybe at like GameStop, Game Crazy, that kind of thing. But I never pulled the trigger on it. I was like, I have no idea what this is. A lot of times Wario games are just kind of weird. I had no idea that it was essentially a third person adventure game. Like I'm like this looks stellar. Like I kind of regret not playing it. Brandon says played like 10 minutes last night, want to try more for sure. Um Nintendo X2 Dope said Wario World was fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, I like I said, I in my video last night, I'm like, let me know if I should play this. A lot of the few comments that it's gotten so far are people saying definitely check this out. So I'll jump in for a little in today for a little bit and just see what it's about. But just watching the trailer for this thing, I'm like, okay, this seems like it might be kind of a nice surprise. So I'm kinda stoked to see it. But again, we're in the 40th anniversary of Mario. Sunshine seems like it should be there. Seems like it should be there. So, very, very strange, but, is what it is. So I'm taking a look here. Japan also received the same title this week. Below are some screenshots. Treasure has also used this opportunity to acknowledge how 6 of its games are now available on Nintendo Switch Online. Apart from Wario, Sin and Punishment, Gunstar Heroes, uh, the Sega Mega Drive Genesis app also includes, Dynamite Headdy, Light Cruiser, and Alien Soldier. So, very interesting. So Treasure is tied like, I don't again, I don't know a whole lot about this, but it's looking like they are the developers behind this one, and we talked last night on NSO Game of the Week about, Gunstar Heroes was mentioned. That's one of my absolute favorites. Sin and Punishment, I went back, I think we did that for a game of the week as well. It's really good. It's really, really good. So, the fact that it's coming from this studio, now I wanna try it even more. That gets me even more excited. So, super cool stuff there. Love seeing that. Again, ultimately, I mean, we literally said yesterday uh, it would be nice to see more GameCube games, and then boom, we got one. But it's still like I went in and updated it today, and I'm like, "It's still looking a little thin," you know? Still looking a bit thin. So, uh, the Nintendo Music app, year in review. Guys, we gotta get Wrapped everywhere, thanks to Spotify. It will allow you to see your most played games or most played, songs, and, because I let a 10, 11-year-old control the music on the ride to school most mornings, every my top song for almost every month is, the final Bowser encounter on Mario Wonder, and it is my top song because that's what he would choose, and little sister always wants, uh she just says, "Play Luigi's Mansion." Luigi's Mansion is, the Mario Kart Luigi's Mansion. That's what she always requests, which was also high up on the list. So really kind of fun to get to check out, like, just what our listening habits are and whatnot. Mine are just skewed because I honestly am not the DJ when we're driving. So just to back up a little bit here, Nintendo X 2 Dope said it's a super fun game talking about Wario World. I'm hoping Wario is going to get a proper new game. That'd be great. Yeah, 3D Wario before Mario, watch the internet just burn to the ground. Let's see. Dala said, "Fantasy Star Online GameCube is a no-brainer for the GameCube app." Yes, that's the only place I believe I can't remember if I played Fantasy Star Online on GameCube or if I played it on the 360. I don't recall, but I know I have spent a little bit of time with that. Back to the music. Nadine says, "Aquatic ambience is always my number one." I love it. That's great. That's fantastic. All right, just making sure I haven't missed any of the other headlines. Well, this this one, this is kind of funny. Um, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour wins GameStop's Worst Game of the Year award. Like, they got no chill. No chill on this. And Halo 3 takes takes out what? Halo 3? What is I don't quite understand. Uh Halo 3 wins GameStop's Game of the Year 2025. Okay. Donkey Kong Bonanza wins GameStop's Best Nintendo Game of the Year, but they gave Welcome Tour the worst the worst game of the year. And you know, that, that's something. That is definitely something. And I mean, I think a lot of people wanted to see this as a pack-in, not as something paid. Um, so I get it, but, uh, the some of the stuff that I thought was super cool was the way they would show off, like, 4K and some other things. Like, I thought there was some neat little little tidbits sprinkled in, but, you know, apparently it's the worst game of the year. And, Brandon says, "I love how GameStop won, Game Store of the Year at the GameStop Awards," right? Uh, Nadine said, "And GameStop got the most stores shut down of for the year." Here we go. Yeah, yeah, it's so, so funny. GameStop, they've been getting more and more they get more and more spicy on X, which is always funny. I kind of, they're kinda turning into the to Wendy's on Twitter or whatever, which is pretty cool. So, well, like I mentioned, they gave Donkey Kong their Nintendo Game of the Year, and, we're gonna be discussing in our final segment here, what's our Nintendo Game of the Year? Before we do, I want to let you guys know that the My Nintendo store added a new Metroid Prime 4 Beyond reward for North America, and it is they are um, they're posters, holographic posters. It looks like it's a set of two, and yeah, it is 2. So it's one, on Viola, and the other one is just, like, the box art. I pulled the trigger. I pulled the trigger on these. I had to do it. Had to do it. I have quite a few of these size posters. So when the opportunity arises that I can finally decorate with all of them, it's gonna be pretty cool. I've got Luigi's Mansion and, I think from the 35th anniversary of Mario, I got, like, 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy also, as well as some from the Nintendo World Championships for, Metroid Prime 2, Samus Returns, Mario Odyssey, and, Mario Kart 7. So, like I said, I have a number of these posters that are all this size. So it'll be fun when I can finally get them all displayed. Well, with that, I think it's time that we talk about our Nintendo Game of the Year. All right. Well, taking a look back at 2025, there's been some pretty amazing releases. We've seen obviously a ton from Nintendo because of the release of the Switch 2, and just kinda thinking back, we've got Mario Kart World for the Switch 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Dragon Drive could be on this list. Um, Pokemon Legends ZA, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, like, we don't have to be constrained to the limits of the actual Game Awards. We can talk about everything that was released. You've also got Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And so I wanna hear from you guys, like, what is your game of the year? And I think what I'm gonna kinda do is just kind of lay out what my list would be, right? And so I'm gonna start at the top, and you guys already know. You already know. My game of the year is Mario Kart World. I still love playing it. It is one I try to pick up as often as possible. I'm really wanna get to the point where it's literally something I play daily because I have such a great time with it. Every time I jump in and do time trials, all of it, like, I really, really enjoy it. I've been trying to complete other games so that I can stay relevant in the conversation as we're talking about this stuff, so it's gone on the back burner just a little bit, but it is definitely my game of the year. Now that being said, fighting for that number 2 spot for me is Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong. Those 2 are, like, neck and neck for the number 2, and it's literally a very tough decision for me. I've had I've had a ton of fun with Prime 4. I think I'm just about I've probably got 10% left of the game, I'm guessing, like, right around there, not much left. Donkey Kong, I will say I like there were moments in Donkey Kong where I'm like, "Okay, I want this thing to wrap up, I'm ready." Haven't really felt that with Prime, where the things I felt with Prime, I'm like, "I really wish this game had X, Y, or Z," and that would really like, it would have easily beat out Donkey Kong for me, you know? For instance, like, I wish the Grievers were a bit more terrifying, more like a Emmy. Something that was like, I actually felt worried when they showed up, and even in tons of numbers, and just didn't really it just felt like, "Oh, I'll be able to take these guys out, no problem." It wasn't like remember the flood in the library in Halo, the first Halo? That's what I'm like, "Yo, this would be great if we were getting that level of, like, dread." Right? Dread is a good word here. Um yeah, and so Cryptic's saying the same thing. DK was fun, but near the end, there were moments before the final chapter where I was like skipping a lot and wanted to complete the game already. And I kind of had that same thing. Cryptic said, for me, it has to be Metroid Prime 4. I find myself losing track of time playing it and just enjoying the world. Some days I make no progress and just try to get upgrades to missiles and special shot upgrades. Yeah, that's it. I've been doing like yesterday. I like kinda hunkered down and took a big bite out of, Metroid Prime 4. I finished up the 5th key. I I have basically I'm on what I assume is the last main objective. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the last main objective, and so but I did spend a little bit of time, like, just I'm like, "Okay, let me go back to all the areas real quick and get all the different upgrades." There's a few different upgrades. There's one particular shot upgrade in the final or the last area where you have to use Spider Ball, and so you drop down with a to Morph Ball, hit a bomb, and then you've got a Spider Ball up, but you can't get up fast enough before it shuts off. And I had such a good time trying to figure that puzzle out. Like, I tried holding down the R button with the power bomb so that it would come up and just spawn, and then I would drop one, it would pop, and I would go up, and then I waited and waited and waited for the other one, and then it didn't actually trigger. So it left me having to, come up with alternative ways of completing the puzzle, and I really, really like that. So, I I really, really enjoyed it. Nate says, "I agree. The, DK, um, I was like, "Alright, game, let me go already." Yeah, the end of that game was kind of like, was kind of like the Return of the King, right? Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. It was like, "Oh, this is like 20 minutes of showing everybody back at their home," you know? So, uh, Nady Nay said, Shinobi is his game of the year. Love that. Love that. Also said, "I already have, more time in Sonic Cross Worlds, than Mario Kart World." Oh, interesting. Interesting. I didn't think that would happen. That's cool though. I mean, you were stoked about Crossworld, so I'm glad that that's been hitting for you. Like I was very optimistic about Sonic and was really hoping that the racing itself would have just felt a bit more like Mario Kart, and I would have been all about it for sure. So, but I love the different features and stuff that they offer. So the question now for me, so obviously Donkey Kong is going to take that number 3 spot. For number 4 and 5, it's got to be, Pokemon and let Zelda, right? Hyrule Warriors. And that's like what's interesting about Pokemon is I kind of didn't put it down. I just got uh I just went through it. I couldn't stop. I was just having too much fun with it. Like I really really enjoyed it. And I'm excited for the DLC. I'm gonna jump back in today to that DLC that just dropped yesterday and see what that's about. And I'm looking forward to it. We're recording an episode of the PokeCast segment for NPC. So that has me excited. Age of Imprisonment is also fantastic. Like for me, it's been a great year for Nintendo games. Like, there's been nothing that I've been disappointed by, and I've had a fantastic time with all these games so far. So I'm I'll probably put it. This is a tough one for me. Think I'm gonna put Pokemon ahead of Hyrule Warriors only because I feel like I was more pulled into that and did not wanna stop playing, whereas with Hyrule Warriors, I do hit a wall, like, I'll play for a little bit daily, and then I'll jump back in, or I'll have to be like, "Okay, I'm good. It's just it got a little too repetitive. Let me take a break, and I'll come back tomorrow." And it feels good to come back. It's not like I don't wanna keep going. The only thing stopping me right now is Metroid Prime 4. So, uh, T-Crom 977 says the DLC is not great. Oh, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Cryptic says I plan on picking up Sonic after Metroid Prime 4. So excited for that. Love that. Love that. Talking more, I believe Nintendo X to dope says I like it. I think we're talking Sonic. Said I like it. I played every cup with every character. On every difficulty. Only played one online race. That's funny. That's funny. Um, T-Crom regarding the DLC says it's very grindy. You may like it. I just feel like it's a chore to play at times. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean they've had a little bit of this game. That game leans grindy, right? Like a thousand trainer battles for the shiny charm, that kind of thing. I don't hate it. I don't hate it because it gives you reason to play. Like, I can see, why people don't wanna deal with the grinding. Totally, totally understand. But I like that it's there. There's a carrot on the stick to go for a while, and some of it just happens organically, and then others you're gonna have to, like, really put the time into. So, um, IPMBT says, "It has been a great year for Nintendo fans. I haven't played a ton, but I really enjoyed Bonanza and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 versions, even Welcome Tour." Yes. Yes, we were just talking about Welcome Tour being, GameStop's worst game of the year. So, but I love like, there's been a number of people that have said some good things about Welcome Tour, albeit, a $10 tech demo or whatever. There's little bits of charm here and there, and, like, is Welcome Tour worse than Dragon Drive? I mean, I don't know. Is worse even the right word to use? The time I spent with Dragon Drive playing with Johnny and Crawler and Cheesy, like, it was, we were laughing, like, we had a great time. So, oh, Nintex, too dope, gotcha, alright, gotcha, I won't, it'll be correct going for I'll just call you Nintex. Uh, I'll get it right for sure. So, uh, yeah, I like, overall, for me, it's just been a really fun year for gaming. The launch of the new console, I feel like I'm just gaming more, and I just don't have the time to be, like, overly critical about all this stuff, and, like, I take the good out of it, I think about this often because, like, I could never be a critic on, like, for, like, movies and, like, "Oh, this character's story arc was lame, and there was, blah, 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 blah." Like, I go to the movies to eat popcorn, drink some soda, and, like, escape reality. So, like, it's an easy dopamine hit for me. Gaming is the same way. Unless it's something that just really doesn't pull me in, then I won't play it. But I don't need to, like, talk about it and be, like, super frustrated by it. I just move on. My backlog is extensive. We didn't mention Kirby Air Riders, you guys. Also for Nintendo. Like, they've put out I'm like, I know there's one more game. That's another one that, like, is just so random, it's so different, but it's still very fun. It's still very fun. Uh Oh, no worries. Don't worry about your name. Like, it one for I know it is super easy to change your name on YouTube if you want to, but, by no means, like, you're all good with me. Brandon said well, let's see, let's jump back. Nate said, "Welcome Tour is nowhere near the Astrobot pack-in that was free." I got you. Yeah, that's a good comparing that way, that's a good way of looking at it. Um, Brandon says, "I liked Welcome Tour. You learn a lot about the console and the accessories and the haptic feedback, sounds through the controller were rad. Still should have been free." Yeah, valid. Totally valid. So, uh, Nate says, "I think I'd rather Virtual Boy than Air Riders." Here we go. Here we go. Don't hold back. Do not hold back. Well, thank you guys so much for tonight or for this morning. Tonight, we are going to be checking out the Game Awards. I'm gonna be hanging with uh the Nintopics podcast crew. It's like the final podcast. I don't know. I think I'm gonna be live on my own channel as well. I haven't figured out all the logistics yet. So one way or another, I will be live and watching the Game Awards with you guys. So just stay tuned to the Discord. I'll put the right links. I'm more than likely gonna be live on my channel. It's something we've done for years, and I don't really want to stop that. So I'll probably just end up being in two places at once for a while. So, fingers crossed we see something from Nintendo this year. Really, really hoping. Um, and and then as far as NPC, it just kind of depends on when the Game Awards ends. So, yeah, that'll just kinda be that'll be what dictates that. So if it's over and gives us, enough time, absolutely. Yeah, it'll still be happening. So, just stay tuned to the Discord and my Twitter, guys. I'll make sure everybody is up to date. So, appreciate you all so much, and as always, play it loud.